Let's jump right into this explainer, guys. We need to talk about that heavy, that incredibly silent feeling you get when you just open your phone, scroll through social media, and literally watch everyone else succeeding while you feel completely, utterly stuck. If you're a university student, maybe a recent grad, or really just anyone trying to navigate this insanely competitive workforce right now, you know exactly what I mean. You log on to LinkedIn or Instagram during like a quiet, lonely summer break, and man, it feels like the whole world is moving at lightning speed while you're just frozen on the starting line. So let me ask you this directly, friend to friend. Have you ever actually felt like you're just losing at life? Like you see one person buying a brand new car, another gets into some top tier grad program, someone else is traveling the world, getting married, or, and honestly, this is the big one, landing that massive, high paying dream job right out of university. And there you are, right? Sitting silently in your room, dealing with the absolute emotional exhaustion of seeking first time employment, getting rejection email after rejection email, and just wondering, what on earth am I doing wrong? Section 1. The Trap of Comparison. This right here brings us to a phenomenon that is quietly destroying millions of people, mentally and emotionally. Comparison turns your everyday life, your own unique personal journey, into this high stakes race that you never even signed up for. And the saddest part about this intense peer pressure, most people don't actually hate their lives until they start looking at the people around them. The fundamental unfairness of this race is how we view ourselves today. Think about it. On one side, you have your real life. The anxiety, the immense stress of job interviews during your final semester, the late nights, the self-doubt. And on the other side, you have someone else's perfectly curated highlight reel. People love to post their victories and their job offers, but they totally hide their anxiety. They show bright smiles, but they hide their breakdowns. You are essentially comparing your messy, behind-the-scenes struggles to someone else's highly edited movie trailer, and then wondering why you feel broken. Section 2. Your personal training arc. Okay, it's time to completely reframe how you look at your current struggles. Those early rejections you're facing right now, the totally unanswered job applications, or that feeling of just wandering without a clear career path, they absolutely do not define your finale. Let's look at a classic anime example that perfectly captures this idea, Naruto. If you remember his story, Naruto basically spent his whole childhood watching everyone around him disrespect him. He was constantly labeled as useless, weak, a failure. He sat there feeling entirely behind naturally talented, gifted people like Sasuke. It's exactly like sitting in a university seminar next to people who just seem to have their entire lives and careers all figured out. But Naruto did one thing differently, right? He never quit taking painful, difficult steps forward. I really want you to absorb this truth for a second. You are not behind. You are just in your training arc. And I say that with deep, deep empathy. That quiet loneliness you feel right now, that frustration of feeling left behind, actually, scratch that, it's more than frustration. It's painful. But feeling behind is often a secret strength. You are not failing. You are in preparation. Literally, every legendary character, every successful person goes through a period of isolation where they have to build their skills in the dark before they can step into the light. Just look at this incredible piece of history. Michael Jordan, the man the entire world later universally recognized as an absolute basketball legend, was once cut from his high school basketball team. He was literally told he wasn't good enough. Imagine for a second if he had looked around, compared himself to the players who actually were selected, felt behind, and just threw in the towel. The world would have lost a legend. Early failures do not dictate your ultimate success. In fact, you'd be surprised how many of the most successful people in the world only found their true path after multiple, really painful, career pivots. Section 3. Nature's Unique Timelines. Thousands of years ago, Gautama Buddha taught a philosophy that is surprisingly relevant to your job hunt today. He explained that human suffering often begins with our attachment to desires and expectations. And today, comparison is for sure our biggest attachment. We suffer because we desperately expect our lives to move at the exact same speed as a person sitting right next to us. But look at nature. A flower blooms vibrantly in a single spring, right? While a massive tree takes years, sometimes decades of slow, completely invisible growth before it truly stands tall. Both are absolutely beautiful, and both have entirely different timing. Not everyone is meant to bloom at 20. Some people become incredibly powerful at 40. We really have to normalize these unique timelines. Your timeline isn't wrong just because it looks different from your classmates. Section 4. The Internal Battlefield. When you're stressed out about graduating or finding a job, comparison starts whispering some incredibly dangerous things into your mind. It tells you you're too late or everyone is ahead of you. And if you listen to those whispers long enough, your own mind turns into an absolute war zone. To fight this, we can actually draw on some powerful Stoic principles, which are perfectly mirrored in another amazing anime, Attack on Titan. The main character, Eren, was constantly surrounded by people who were stronger, more skilled, and way more respected than him. But his true power wasn't physical at all. It was his absolute refusal to accept defeat internally. This is pure stoicism, highs, detaching your self-worth from external validation like social media likes or job offers. The real battle isn't against the skilled people around you. It's against that tiny voice inside you saying you aren't enough. Because it is the ultimate trap, measuring your life with someone else's map. Think about it. A fish is going to feel pretty stupid if it constantly compares itself to a bird flying in the sky, right? And a bird is going to feel entirely useless trying to breathe underwater. Different paths naturally have entirely different purposes and timings. Your goal right now shouldn't be to just copy your peers' expectations. It should be to identify your genuine interests, way beyond what everyone else happens to be doing. Section 5. Growth ends the race. Okay, here is a deeply painful but ultimately liberating truth. Those people you constantly compare yourself to, the ones with the perfect LinkedIn updates, they are way too busy fighting their own exhausting battles to even judge yours. While you spend years feeling behind, life is just quietly waiting for you to believe in yourself again. So how do we actually break free? We look at people like David Goggins. Goggins went from being overweight, insecure, and completely lost in life to achieving unimaginable greatness by executing two simple yet incredibly difficult steps. Step 1. He completely stopped comparing himself to others. Step 2, he started competing only with the person he was yesterday. Instead of checking social media highlights, he started tracking his daily personal progress. Because real growth truly begins the moment comparison ends. Take a deep breath right now and really let this awakening sink in. Look at the pain you've survived. Look at the immense stress of university, the grueling job hunt, the endless rejections you've pushed through. You are not over. You are not late. You are not failing. You are simply becoming. I need you to remember today that your worth as a human being exists entirely outside of your professional achievements or whatever job title you hold. You are slowly, surely becoming something unforgettable. As we near the end of our time together on this explainer today, I have a quick journaling prompt for you. Grab a pen or just open a note app on your phone and ask yourself, what is the one thing you compare yourself to the most? Be brutally honest with yourself about those internal struggles. And then, right beneath that, I want you to identify just one hidden strength you possess today that has absolutely nothing to do with a resume. You know, the world constantly teaches us to race, but true wisdom teaches us to grow patiently. Comparison makes people feel late, but real legends are built in silence. If this explainer found you when you were feeling lost or left behind, please know that your story is literally just beginning. The race is an illusion. So I'll leave you with this. If you finally stop looking at everyone else's timeline today, who will you quietly become tomorrow? Keep growing, keep going, and I'll see you next time. Okay, let's just get right into it. If you're sitting there right now, staring at your screen late at night and just feeling that absolute weight of university deadlines pressing down on you, well, you are in exactly the right place. But listen, this explainer, it's not your typical study guide. We're not going to sit here and talk about flashcards or, memorization hacks. Instead, think of this as a master revision guide for your mindset. We're going to directly tackle that academic procrastination and the overwhelming pressure that's, quite frankly, quietly sabotaging your potential. So here's the syllabus for today's explainer. We'll start with a late-night reality check, unpack the great money illusion, and look at the validation economy trap. Then we'll hit some discipline case studies, reveal the ultimate competitive advantage, and wrap up with your new revision plan. Trust me, no matter how loud the noise in your head is right now, there is a clear, structured path through it. All right, section 1, the late night reality check. I really want to speak directly to you right now as you sit alone at your desk. It's late. That academic pressure is just suffocating, right? And then there's that lingering heavy fear that you're somehow falling behind everyone else in your cohort. It's a very specific, very real kind of isolation. What am I doing with my life? Wow, it's terrifying, isn't it? That thought usually creeps in right when the screen turns off, the music stops, and there are literally no more reels to distract you. You're suddenly just entirely alone with your thoughts. Most people instantly run from this question. They just open another tab to escape it. But today, we are going to face it honestly. Because see, the real pain you're feeling right now, it isn't actually the fear of failing an exam. It's the silent, aching pain of wasted potential. It's that horrible realization right when the quick dopamine wears off that you absolutely know you could become more, but your daily habits are just slowly destroying your future. Moving to section 2, the great money illusion. To really understand why this happens, we need to run a quick thought experiment. It's time to prove to you that the external resources you think you lack are not the root of your stress, and they absolutely aren't the key to your success. So imagine this scenario. What if tomorrow morning, every single human on Earth, the billionaire, the delivery driver, the struggling university student, wakes up with the exact same balance in their bank account? Poverty vanishes overnight. Jealousy over wealth? Gone. Financial struggles just completely disappear. I mean, it sounds like absolute paradise, right? Now, what's really interesting about this timeline is how quickly that paradise unravels. Look at day 1. It's pure relief. Students finally go out and buy what they've been dreaming of. But hit month 1 and human psychology just takes over. Some instantly waste it on luxury and fast dopamine. But others, they quietly study, save, and build their skills. Fast forward to year 5, and the financial gap has returned completely. Humanity basically reverts right back to chaos. So here's the harsh truth we have to face. Habits create reality way more than money does. Now, money can totally solve your basic survival problems. Absolutely. But it cannot solve the emptiness or that lack of direction you feel. Students today are taught to chase marks for a job and a job for a salary. But honestly, nobody is actually teaching you how to control yourself and truly live. Which brings us to section 3, the validation economy trap. And this hits right at the specific distraction that is probably destroying your exam prep right this second. It's the pressure to perform, to post these perfectly curated lives, and to just constantly measure your worth against an endless digital feed. 5, it literally only takes 5 minutes. Think about it. You have free access to knowledge, a quiet desk, a textbook, yet you open your phone for just 5 minutes, and in that tiny, tiny window of time, the algorithms manage to make you feel like everyone your age is somehow richer, smarter, more attractive, and vastly more successful than you are. It's crazy. And just like that, the toxic thought enters your mind. Am I already falling behind in life? This single thought, which, by the way, is fueled entirely by artificial comparison, just quietly destroys your confidence. It completely drains your motivation and ruins what could have been a perfectly productive day of studying. Basically, you are trapped in what this explainer calls the validation economy. When validation becomes your main source of happiness, you actually become emotionally dependent on complete strangers. Think about it. Modern society has made physical comfort incredibly easy, but finding true purpose, that's become incredibly difficult. You're just overstimulated, constantly watching other people live while completely ignoring your own potential. All right, let's hit section 4, discipline case studies. Think of these as the core texts of our mindset revision guide. We're going to look at some examples that perfectly illustrate how 2 seemingly identical starting points can drastically diverge based purely on daily habits. Imagine these 2 guys, Arian and Kenji. They both start out with the exact same amount of money. Arian immediately goes out and buys expensive clothes, video games. He's just chasing that temporary pleasure and fast dopamine, right? And for a year, he feels great. Kenji, on the other hand, buys books. He learns new skills, improves his health, and just quietly builds discipline. Now, at first, people might actually laugh at Kenji, but 5 years later, Arian is empty, still chasing those fleeting highs, while Kenji has quietly built an incredibly solid life. And this brilliantly illustrates why certain anime characters resonate so deeply with us. Take Rock Lee. The guy wasn't gifted. He had literally no special powers, no natural talent, but he trained harder than everyone else. If you gave Rock Lee $1 billion overnight, that money wouldn't make him special. His discipline is what makes him special. Consistent, daily effort is what actually changes your destiny. There's actually a classic Buddhist story that hammers this point home perfectly. 2 people are drinking from the exact same river. Drinker 1 feels profoundly grateful just to have water. Drinker 2, he complains that the water isn't colder. It is the exact same resource, the exact same water. But human psychology and mindset dictate 2 completely different realities and levels of happiness. Moving on to section 5, the ultimate competitive advantage. Let's pivot right back to your desk. We need to talk about your immediate academic survival and how shifting your perspective on all this directly impacts whether you pass or fail those upcoming exams. So historically, the ultimate advantages in life were money, natural talent, and resources. But look around. Globally, attention spans are just collapsing. People literally cannot sit quietly, study deeply, or think clearly anymore, which means the modern advantage has completely flipped. If you are a student who can actually cultivate deep focus, emotional control, and mental clarity, you already have a massive, unfair advantage over the vast majority of your peers. Mindset truly multiplies opportunity. Because the real barrier holding you back from acing your exams isn't financial poverty, it's mental poverty. It's this severe lack of focus, purpose, and inner peace in a world that only ever teaches you how to earn money, not how to control yourself. Listen, if you can't control your own mind, even unlimited resources and all the time in the world will just disappear into a giant black hole of distraction. Okay, section 6, your new revision plan. Let's move forward and see how this builds into some actual, actionable steps. It is time to establish a concrete plan to get you back on track tonight so you can actually conquer this intense exam period. Consider me your mentor for a minute. Here are your 4 non-negotiable revision steps. Step 1, stop chasing temporary validation from strangers online. It is a complete trap. Step 2, actively cultivate deep, quiet focus. Treat your attention like it's your most valuable currency because it is. Step 3, face the uncomfortable truth about where your daily habits are actually leading you. And step 4, stop waiting around to feel motivated. You've got to rely entirely on your own self-control. I really want you to burn this quote into your memory. Your future is not built by one big moment. It's built by what you repeat every day. Success isn't some miraculous event that just magically happens on exam day. It's the result of all those small, silent, seemingly insignificant decisions you make when absolutely no one else is watching. Like choosing to read the next chapter instead of picking up your phone. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. If you were handed the grades, the career, and the exact life you wanted today, but you didn't have the discipline to actually earn it, would you even know how to handle it? Really think about that. You have the power to change your reality right now. So close the extra tabs, put away the distractions, and let's get back to your quiet, disciplined work. You've got this.